Hello everybody, we are Mahou Dreamers and we are currently an 8-member cosplay and performance group about Love Live. We actually started in 2017 and didn't have our first debut at Anime North until 2018. However, since that time we've been able to perform at other conventions like Fan Days, Con Bravo, and even at Pretty Heroes before. As well, we have had many opportunities to host different types of panels. One of our panels that we've actually hosted here at Pretty Heroes before was a Learn to Kind of Dance. So we're very excited to be back this year at Pretty Heroes, and this time with our virtual idol guide panel. Today, several of our members are actually going to be highlighting some really important aspects and features about being part of a cosplay performance group. So we're very excited to be able to share these with you today, and we hope you stay tuned. We hope you enjoy. First up today, we have Mahou member Rachel. Rachel is Mahou's cosplay performer for Rin, Ruby, and Rina. Rachel is also a professional seamstress, so she's definitely our go-to for anything about cosplay, repair kits, quality fabric, and she's going to be here to kind of share to you all of her knowledge, and it's really going to be helpful information to get you in the better mind frame, especially when you're trying to buy cosplay online, whether you're making a cosplay, and what do you do if your cosplay rips or something happens on stage. So we really hope that you enjoy her information because it is extremely valuable.
Okay, so you want to be an idol. How do you go about getting a cosplay? You can either make it or you can buy it. It's not always an easy decision because sometimes making it costs more than what you can actually pay for it online, because there's a lot of good deals online right now. So here's some tips to help you choose whether or not you should make it or buy it, and even where to buy it from. When I'm looking at this, I think, what's it gonna cost me to make it first? My Candy Maid. Ren's Candy Maid. This probably cost me about $50 to $75 to make in materials. The skirt fabric I got custom printed on spoonflower.com. They are not cheap. And after making it, obviously the time involved as well. I'd probably say over $100 worth in making it. And I looked online and you can buy it for 30 bucks. The upside to making is that you have the satisfaction of wearing something that you've made yourself. Then my Rin Lucky Gods. This definitely I would not be able to make for how cheap I got it. It's very ornate, there's lots of details to it, there's screen printing in the fabric. This alone would cost me over $150 to $200 to make if I were to custom get these fabrics made, whereas I got it online for $160, $170 maybe. So that was definitely a good deal. Same with my flower bouquet Rin. This was about same. This was probably like $130, $150. I'd have to custom print this fabric, and the amount of work involved in this is crazy. It's doable, but considering how much I could buy it for and the quality of it for how much I paid for it is still really good. That being said, there's Love Live cosplays out there that you can't get, so you kind of have to make it. Now when you're looking at buying online, the first three that come to my head are AliExpress, eBay, and Amazon. You can pretty much type anything you want to buy in there and something will pop up. AliExpress probably has the most selection for the cheapest, but their buyer protection is very low. So you can easily get screwed over if it doesn't get shipped to you. I had very bad experience on AliExpress, but I bought it, I got a tracking number and said it was shipped, but the order hadn't even been made yet. So when I went to cancel the order, it was just a giant hassle. I ended up being out of about $90 on that. But I have bought off AliExpress that have been good, like Lucky Gods. But if you like to have the peace of mind of buyer protection, then eBay, Amazon, and Etsy are probably your best. Their selection isn't as good as AliExpress, but it's still there. And you can probably request custom orders from a number of different sellers on there. Regardless of what you're looking at, always review the store, review the ratings, see how many people are following them, how many people have bought the cosplay that you want. You can usually see that. And sometimes the name of the shop will tip you off. Obviously, good stores on there, Roll Cause, Cosplay Shopper, the name says it, as opposed to shop 34529. Doesn't give you confidence in a shop that can't even choose its own name. I'm sure some of them are okay, but I personally don't trust that. And always check on the different search engines. I'm currently looking for Rin's Little Devil, so I'm checking AliExpress, I'm checking eBay, I'm checking Amazon, I'm checking them, I'm comparing quality, I'm comparing prices, I'm comparing shipping, I'm comparing all of that in order to make my final decision on where to buy it from. Don't just go click happy. And then there's the more cosplay oriented shops. So you have Cosplay Shopper, Mike Costumes, Roll Cause. There's tons out there. I personally haven't bought any off of cosplay sites. Now getting back to Etsy. Etsy is probably the more expensive because you're getting handmade, personalized costumes for you. Yes, it's extra money, but sometimes extra money means better quality. But that's going to be a personal preference on your part, whether you are just going to wear it once, quick and easy, cheap, or I'm going to wear this multiple times, it's for a performance, I want it to be a certain perfect way, then you're probably going to want to pay for that extra customization. That being said, there is another way. You can buy secondhand. I go through Facebook. I'm part of 2 Facebook groups. Love Live Cosplay merch sales. I'm on that one. And I'm also on Cosplay Buy and Sell GTA. And I've bought a number of my cosplays secondhand. Rin Magician secondhand. It's in perfect shape. Ruby Unidolized Circus. Very happy with that. I also bought Rin's Arabian. It was slightly damaged, but it was nothing that was not fixable. You gotta be careful with those too, though, because sometimes they'll be listed in US currency, and you might think, oh wow, $80, that's half the price of what I can get it online. Well, check the exchange rate, because then that's like 130, and if you can buy it brand new for 130, it's not worth getting secondhand, in my opinion. Now that you have a cosplay, or have a cosplay in mind, how do you stay in cosplay for an entire convention without mishaps? You got your makeup done, you've got your wig done, you've got your cosplay, but now you're walking around in a crowd and things can go wrong. How to keep your knee highs and stockings from sliding down. Because we've all been there, we've all done it. You spend the entire convention frustrated, pulling them up, hiking them up. They're wrinkled, they're not right, and by the end of it, you just want to throw them off and throw them in the garbage. I've found a few tutorials online that have helped me. I used my flower bouquet stockings. They never stayed up. So what I did, out and bought a cheap pair of pantyhose, and I stitched them straight into the stocking. Just like that. Hand stitched these. I had a day before a convention to do this. Con crunch, we all know that. And they worked. There are tons of tutorials, Engine Knight being one of them. You can look her up on YouTube. Her tutorial is actually pretty good for that. One of the biggest tips I can have for idol cosplays is almost all of them are skirts. This one came with a petticoat. This one did as well. This one did not. This is my own petticoat that I bought from a secondhand store at Halloween. So it's given that extra poof. You want the poof. Poof is good. Without the petty skirt, take it off. It's flat. It's dull. It's boring. Petticoats or bloomers or crinolines. I made a pair of bloomers as well. Gives it just that extra. No such thing as too much poof when it comes to idol cosplays. The only other thing that I can think of is always bring a repair kit. Always, 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 always. Don't even second guess whether or not you should bring one. Things happen when you don't want them to. What should be in your repair kit? Most of the time you can buy like a little cheap sewing kit from Judairamen or Walmart, Fabricland, pretty much anywhere. You should have a needle and thread, pair of scissors, a glue gun. I thought to myself, why would I need a glue gun? I had bows fall off and beads fall off, and I couldn't sew them on, and that's where the glue gun came in handy. Obviously, glue gun sticks, and bobby pins for your wig, and safety pins. I can't tell you how many times mishaps have happened. They happen. Doesn't matter how well made something is. All it takes is a heel to get stuck in your dress hem. Some of you might remember our Fan Days performance at the MTCC. An hour before I was getting ready, I got into Maid Cafe, and the zipper broke. That was a year ago, and I still haven't fixed it. That's how upset I was with this happening. I literally had to have someone stitch me into this. I didn't even have black thread. I didn't even have a repair kit. Somehow I managed to find gold thread and literally last minute stitching me up into this. Invisible zippers are a pain in the butt. I find, especially with this, where the seam was, it was really, really thick, and that's what made it rip. Sometimes if the invisible zipper is sewn too close to the teeth of the zipper, that will make it break as well. I think it happened another time to the other group. She was getting into her flower bouquet. Zipper broke, and we were in the bathroom hand stitching her into her zipper. Things like that definitely do happen, and it's unfortunate, but the best mentality is to fix it as best as you can, as temporary as you can, and don't let it ruin your time. It is what it is. You can't control that, unfortunately. I hope this has helped you. I hope it makes things easier when choosing a cosplay, where to buy it, and what to do when you're wearing it.
Next today we have Jazz. Jazz is Mahou Dreamers, Nozomi, Mari, and Kanata. She's also Mahou Dreamers' beauty guru. She knows all about makeup, all about beauty, and she's definitely our go-to, especially when you're trying to get that big, bold anime eye. Now, Jazz is also going to be talking to us about cultural appropriation, so we really hope you find her information extremely valuable, because we definitely appreciate it when she teaches us.
So today I'm going to be walking you through how to do this look, aka how to make yourself look a little bit younger and how to make your eyes look wider and bigger. So that your favorite anime character, especially if you're someone like me and you're above the age of 20 and trying to play a 16-year-old. All right, wig caps are in trend, right? Okay, so since we're going to be learning how to make our eyes look bigger and generally look a little bit more youthful, the first thing you want to do is make sure that your complexion is spotless, flawless, you know? I put it on before because you're going to be contouring around the eye area and you can't really put concealer on after you do that. So just make sure everything's blank. First thing is, let me tell you all the things you're going to need to get started. You're going to need some sort of brow product. I'm just using a brow gel because I have lots of brows, but we'll talk about that. You're also going to need one eyeshadow brush, really nice and simple. One eyeshadow palette that has a color that is lighter than your skin tone and darker than your skin tone and something like close to black. You're also going to need a mascara, a liquid liner, whatever you prefer. I like a pen, and also a beige liner or a white liner, depending on your skin tone. If you're darker, you're gonna want a beige liner. If you're lighter or more fair, you're gonna want a white liner. Okay, great. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in my brows. So the thing about eyebrows is the skinnier they are, the older you look. As we age, you lose hair, and therefore you look older. So in order to get a nice youthful look for your cosplay, you're going to want to fill your brows in so that they're more soft. I'm just using a brow gel right now. I have a lot of hair, and I'm going to be brushing against my hair like so. And then I'm going to be brushing with my hair the way I want my brows to lay. Of course, this only really comes into play when you're playing high schoolers in a non-magic world. But for something like Love Live, you want your brow to be a little bit fluffier than usual. So you can see, here's it filled, and here's the other side, not filled. If you're using a pencil, or say you don't have a lot of hair, or you're using a brush, a good rule of thumb is that one width of your brush. So if you stamp your brush right at the front, that should be how wide the front of your brow should be for something youthful like this. And I'm just using a little bit of my product to define my arch because I don't have one. All right, so now you have our brows on. I'll come a little closer so you can see. Once your brow is on, you can let it set if you need to. If it's set already, that's perfect. But now we're gonna get into the real fun part and go into contouring your eyes. So first you're going to wanna figure out all the places you wanna make your eyes look bigger, and that's where all the light colors are gonna go. So anything that's light is going to make your eyes look bigger and come forward. Anything that's dark is gonna push them back or recede them and make them look smaller. It's kind of like wearing that little black dress. So I'm gonna come in real close here, and I'm gonna take a color lighter than my skin tone, and I'm going to press that on my eyelid like this. When you use a pressing motion, more product is placed, and therefore you get a more dense eyeshadow look, as you can see. And I'm also going to press under my brow. I'm doing this quite dramatic so you can see it in the camera, but that works just fine for cosplay because you want your makeup to show when you're taking photos as well. So once you have that done like that, I'm going to just take my brush, I'm not going to add any product, and I'm going to soften the edges. So I'm pretty much just blending and pulling the product so it's everywhere, but still concentrated in those areas we applied first. So you can see how it kind of just opens up my eye and makes it flat. Already my eye looks a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. I look a little bit more awake. All right, so once you have that done, it should look something like this. You can see you can see the points where it's stronger, but it's still nice and blended. You're gonna then take a color that's very similar to your skin tone. So I'm gonna be using this guy right here. Same fluffy brush. I'm going to apply my product on just one side of my brush. That means it's not gonna fall on my cheek. And I'm going to, with my eye open, find where the brow bone of my eye is, place my product right there. So under the highest point of the arch, and right under where the bone of my brow is, that's where I'm going to place. And then I'm going to blend it outwards and blend in like so. So I'm pulling the product in the direction I want it to go. And this is called directional blending. So you can see the difference between one eye and the other. I pretty much just created a shadow in that area. So whether you have like a monolid or maybe more hooded eyes, this will still work for you because you're following your bone structure, not what your skin is doing. And make sure they're both soft and blended. There we go. So now we can start defining the eyes a little bit more. Already they're nice and big and wide. We want to keep this area here nice and large, so we're going to keep it nice and bright. However, on the outer corners, we're going to darken it a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of the dark brown. I'm still using the same brush, and I'm going to press the product on the outer edge of my eye like this. So I'm just placing it right now. Place, place, place. Once it's placed, I'm going to yet again pull out and up. So you can kind of see I'm just lightly dusting the product upwards. And this will add lift to your eyes so you can see they're nice and lifted. And then I'm also just going to pull a little bit in about halfway to my inner corner. So just to the middle of the eye, we're pulling in. There we go. So already you can see, whew, nice and big. Last but not least, you want to make sure to define the bottom part of your eye. This is just as important. So I'm going to take the same brown color. And in this case, if you do have a smaller brush, this would be a great time to use it. But I want to show you how to do this very simply. If you don't have everything, I'm going to take that same dark brown color on one side of my brush. On the other side of my brush, I'm going to take the lighter color that's similar to my skin tone. So dark side, light side. And then I'm going to push down like this here on my brush. And now it's a flat brush. So if you have a flat brush, that's great. If not, you can make do. And I'm going to take the dark side up and go along my bottom lash line, halfway. So because the dark side is up and the light side's down, you're naturally going to blend the bottom already. I want that a little bit stronger, so we'll do it again. So you can see the difference between the two eyes. I have a little bit of definition on the bottom. Now we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, from here, now it's all about eyeliner. And I know eyeliner can be very, very difficult it takes a lot of practice. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your pen or your liquid liner and you're gonna draw your line first. If you need to, you can place some tape to make sure your line is straight. You're gonna follow your bottom lash line up to your brow bone. So you see that line right there? That one. So I'm gonna take it here and I'm just gonna pull up like this. And I'm gonna create my line. And then I'm gonna create my line on the other side first. I don't like to do one liner and then try to do the other one completely. There is a good chance you're gonna mess up. Once they're even, luckily that was on the first try, I'm going to take from halfway to that line that I created, not all the way to the tip, just halfway. I'm gonna connect that line to my lash line. You see? Like this. And there'll be a little gap, a little triangle. Don't worry about the gap. We're now gonna fill that in. So take your liner and just fill that gap in. If you're like me and you already have pretty big eyes, you can, like a lot of lid space, you can go ahead and connect all the way from the bottom lash line across in a very thin line. Like that. And now you have a really nice liner that opens up your eyes a lot. At this point, if you have it, I would recommend taking a black pencil liner and going right along the lash line. But if you don't, this is where your friend mascara is going to come in. And we're going to do this first. We're going to take our mascara, whatever mascara you like using. I'm going to take all the excess from the mascara here, and I'm going to place it along your lash, along my lashes first. This makes sure that you get a lot of product on your lashes the first time, and you don't have to do 1,000 coats, especially if you're going to wear false lashes anyways. And then I'm going to pull it through. Sometimes I feel like I only have 3 lashes in total, so I feel like I have to work really hard with mascara, but there we go. We're all set. Now, bottom liner, bottom lashes. So if you're going for more of a cartoony look, which is my favorite to do, I'm going to show you how to do that. If not, you are going to skip this step. But I like to take a little bit of my eyeliner and just along, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm just going to press little flicks on the outer edge, about 3 of them, you can see there, to be like extra little eyelashes. And this is on the lash line, so a little bit lower, it's not in the eye. And then you're going to take your beige liner and you're going to just lightly press here and apply from the inner corner a little thicker and then a thinner line going outwards like that. So now that that is done, you're gonna pop your mascara on your bottom lashes. And for this one, I actually like to take off any excess and go do the same thing as the top, but just with not all the extra product. I find it makes it a little bit more easy not to get mascara on your nose or on your cheek. And then last but not least, let's apply some eyelashes. So if you don't want to wear eyelashes, that's totally fine. I am a lash enthusiast, so I will absolutely be putting eyelashes on. I'm going to go for more of a natural pair today. Don't judge me when I say they're natural for me. I'm going to put the lash glue on. I like to use a black lash glue because I usually wear it with eyeliner. And I'm going to put a thin layer on. Then you have to let your lash glue dry, not too long, but for a little bit of time, about 30 seconds. So what I like to do is put the other lash glue on the other lash while I wait. If you're not that proficient with putting eyelashes on, I would do one at a time and then just give it a little bit of time to rest. Once you have your lashes and they're a little tacky, the trick is you want to look down. If you're looking up, your eyelash is going to pop right off. Or if your eyes are closed, they kind of wrinkle up, and then when you glue them, and you open your eyes, they will pop off. So make sure your eyes open and just stretch by looking down. I'm going to press the middle first. There, and then take the outer corner and pull it all the way out like that. Then you can attach the inner corner, and not to make it seem easy, because I know it's definitely not, your lash is on. And as you can see, it completes the look. It gives you lots of open space, really wide eyes. Lashes are everything to me. Same thing with the other side. And as you can see, now your eyes are nice and wide and they're bigger and you look a little bit younger.
So next up we have Mahou member Anita. Anita is Mahou Dreamers Hanukkah, Rico, and Setsuna. Anita is also Mahou Dreamers' main dancing instructor. Dance is a very important aspect of any live cosplay performance, especially when you're dancing to kind of this K-poppy style in Muse. It's so prevalent. We need to get those steps, we need to get that bounce, and having somebody that's your main dance teacher is going to be very helpful, especially in your group, and especially if you're looking to perform live in front of people. Now, Anita is fantastic, and we definitely appreciate her advice, and she's definitely going to teach you something about dance that's going to help your group be performance and dance ready.
Hi there! So in this segment, I will be teaching everybody how to dance Wonderful Rush, which is a song by the Love Live idol group Muse. In particular, the first chorus and the post-chorus that comes after that first chorus. I hope you find this helpful and enjoy! So what we'll do today is we'll go through every 8 beats or every phrase. I will count it out, and I will also be referencing quite a bit of the lyrics because a lot of these steps coincide with the beats and the rhythms of the lyrics. Another thing to know is that the sides of the steps can vary depending on who you're dancing as. So I dance as Honoka in this, so my steps tend to start on the left side, but I know my 2 group mates, which are Umi and Ellie, start on the right. So it will honestly depend on who you are, so just make sure to reference the original performers as well. We'll start with the first 8. I will count it out first. Kore kara no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it starts with a little hop on one foot. So again, I am on the left, but you may be starting on the right instead. I hop on one foot and kick my back foot a little bit up, making sure that I have big arms. And then I end with a shelf. Mahou Dreamers calls this a shelf, where our hands are straight and open and away from our chest. That way when we bounce around, it's still clear and wide and not scrunched up. And then for this step, you start alternating hands and feet. 3, 4. So you'll notice that I'm bending it on my elbows and finding a stopping point. I'm not bending at my wrist, and I'm not opening it all the way. That's gonna keep the shelf look. 3, 4. You can add a little bounce if you want to, but still find your stopping point. And then your outside hand, whether it's the right arm or the left arm, you're gonna drag out in an L shape and hit with your head while keeping the other arm in that shelf position. One more time from the beginning of that 8. Kore kara no 1, 2 on the shelf, 3, 4. Elbow, elbow, drag with the L. Let's move on. So you stopped here, 7, 8. Now you're going to take a step forward with big arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and. So again, you stopped from here. You're going to take a step forward. 1, 2. The original has it straight through like this, but Mahou likes to wiggle our arms around a little bit to make it a little bit more cute. Make sure that you stay away from your chest crunch so that you're not like this. 3 and 4. It's a double circle to your forehead. Make sure you're not covering your face, and it's crossed over like this. 5, 6. You're going to be alternating your legs but keeping your torso forward. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7, 8. A full sweep of the room. Make sure that you have your searching hand nice and clear. And then on the end, it's an OK sign, pushing your torso back and stepping your back foot behind. Now I suggest that you keep your weight on your standing foot because you are going to be jumping immediately after. Alright, so don't put your weight on your back foot. Keep it on here, balance it like you would if you were raising your back foot, and balance it to the back. Let's move on to the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. Alright, so if you notice, the first 4 are actually very similar to the first phrase that we just did. 1, 2, don't forget your shelf, 3, 4. But instead of alternating your arms, you're going to be extending them. 5 and 6. Alright, so let's break that down. So the original Muse likes to start with their front arm, but we changed it at Mahou to start with our back arm. Whether you're on this side or that side, we start with our back arm just so we can keep our face open. Because if we start with our front arm, it ends up covering our faces, so we started with our back arm. Now when you start with your back arm, make sure it's long and extended, not all the way up, more diagonal. And then you're also extending your front foot back, the opposite leg. And you're keeping the shelf here when you open it up. So 5 and 6. Now here you're kind of pulling the energy all the way to your chest, engaging your core and pushing your torso back. So bend your knees and push your torso back. Now make sure that it's open. It's very important that you keep that open. That's why we extended the back leg. Push back because you're going to be twisting on your feet to face forward. 7, 8, and that's the count for that. It's an around on se, together on ven, and to your chest on 8. So if we go through that phrase of 8 again, 1 and 2, shelf 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. Now we're gonna move on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's very easy. It's a lot of side steps, so let's practice that first. This one doesn't really change depending on who you're dancing as. This is the same all across the board. You were starting with your right leg, right, left, right, left. Put a little bit of hip swivel to it, right, left. It will give you a lot more movement as opposed to just stepping sidewards. Okay, now the important key to this is your arms. So you're going to start with 1 on your chest, 2 front, 3 open, 4 pull. It's more of a pull rather than a close. It's a pull. 5 open, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now when you do this, you're going to be stopping all motions. It's literally a stop of motion. You're gonna open your legs, you're gonna open your arms, and that's your pose. Find your center, stay strong on that foundation. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's move on. The next bit isn't really a phrase of 8, it's more of an extra bar. So we'll be stopping there, and the count is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Hi! Okay, this one is a little bit difficult in terms of counting, so I'm going to redo that with the lyrics instead because it's very dependent on the lyrics. So it does it and hi. All right, so if you're gonna have to listen very carefully to the beats of the music. So let's break that down. You stopped here. You're gonna pull your right side in. This is the same for whatever girl, whoever you are. You're gonna stop there, pull your right side in. Make sure your weight is on your left leg. You're gonna pull your right leg in. If you see, there's a nice triangle, but keeping my torso forward and my hand in a fist, pulling up slowly. Okay, I can't really see that, but it's a fist all the way up. Now the goal is to reach the height of your arm at the end of that really long vowel that they sing. So you're gonna have to figure out your speed for that, your dynamic. You're gonna pull up slowly and hit the top right at the end of the and then you'll hear there's a beat that goes da 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 hi. So you're gonna be pulling very small movements, da 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 hi. Now hi is like a cute face, and then you're gonna kind of like pop your right leg up because your weight was already on your left leg, so you're just gonna kind of kick it up, hi. So you're stopping, da 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 hi. That's how that 4 beats goes. Let's move on to the next 8. The next 8 goes like this. So you came from here, hi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, N. Okay, let's break that down. So if you noticed, it was a lot of arm movement again, but we're gonna concentrate more on the legs first. So there is a specific bounce to it. So we know our side steps already. We know how our hips swivel for that. Now we're gonna add a little bit of a kick. Side step, kick, side step, kick, side step, kick, side step, kick, and then after that you're going to add a little bit of a bounce. Side step, bounce, side step, bounce, side step, bounce, side step, bounce. And then you're going to be twisting your torso a little bit more with it to show more movement. So now we've figured out how the legs work. We're going to add our arms. So we're going to start on the right. 1, 2. It's an open to your heart. The lyrics is kokoro, which is Japanese for heart. So we're going to bring it to our chest. And then you're going to the left, this time opening downwards. Dandan atsuku. The word atsuku is warm or hot, I believe, in Japanese. So you're kind of like portraying that you're warm and shy. And then 5, 6. Same motion as 1, 2, 5, 6. 7, 8, N. Now, the step, you're going to be standing straight for that. Point all around the room. Flick in, flick out. And your head follows the direction in, out. Your left hand stays on your chest from where you came from, so just leave it there. Make sure your elbow is out and not scrunched up to your arm. Now, in the original Muse, there is a bounce to it, like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, N. There is a bounce to it, but we chose to take that out a little bit so that we can really exaggerate our arm movement for our performance. So that is the full 8 for that. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, N. All right, and the next 8 beats goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's break that down. It's not actually very difficult. So what you're going to concentrate on is a little bit of the backwards movement or forwards movement, depending on where you are in the group, who you are in the group. So it's a step, kick, step, kick, step, kick with a bounce. You can also, instead of kicking, you can bring your knees up. Step, knee, step, knee, step, knee, step, knee. It will be a stylistic choice at this point. And while that is happening, you are pointing to the audience, making sure you keep your face forward. So again, the count: 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at 5, 6, 7, 8, you end up going into your pose. Honoka does 5, 6, 7, 8. So she does a little bit of a cute sleeping thing, but you will have to reference your muse in particular to see what the pose is. And that is the entire chorus, plus a little bit of the section that we like to call dandan. So let's go through everything again in count. Once with me calling out particular details, the second time with just a count, and then the last time with the music once more, and that should be it. 1, 2 with your shelf, 3, 4, 5, 6, alternating with your elbows, not your wrist, 7, 8. Give me your L's for that. 1, 2, Mahou does a little shimmy, 3, 4, you step back with your hands on your forehead but not covering your face, 5, 6, alternating your legs but keeping your torso forward, 7, 8, end. Don't forget to really search across the room, and then OK sign for the last end. 1, 2, 3, 4, extend, 5 and 6, push with your torso, engage your core muscles, 7, 8. Keep your legs open because you opened your legs when you extended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't forget that 7, 8 is your stop. Then pull in for the extra 4. 1, 2, and da 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 da, hi. And then you start the dandan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And don't forget, you had your chest and your faces and your bounce throughout those last couple of phrases. Let's go through it a little bit faster, but still with counts. 5, 6, 7, korekarano. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, and da 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 da. Hi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Da 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 da. Hi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I hope you enjoyed that breakdown of the first chorus and post-chorus of Wonderful Rush. Please do stick around until the end of the panel where you can see Mahou Dreamers' own performance of Wonderful Rush, and you might be able to recognize some familiar steps as well yourself. Thank you for watching!
Have Mahou member Kim. Kim is Mahou Dreamers' Yumi, Hanamaru, and Anamu. Kim is also a professional TikToker, so she definitely knows how to bring on that charm, that stage presence, and get perfectly into character. Kim is definitely going to go over some very important features about getting into character and how to elevate your performance by being bright and connecting with the audience. So we are super excited to have her be able to share her insights and her knowledge about being in character with you all today. We hope you enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be talking about the performance aspect of this idol guide. Now, performance can encompass a wide variety of things. Obviously, as an idol group, your main priority will be dancing, but you need to take other things into consideration, in my opinion, in order to best engage your audience. Because really, as an idol, your main goal is to entertain. That being said, also remember to have fun. Before I go into any of this, keep in mind, have fun. That is a very important aspect of being an idol. You want to have that happy, upbeat personality and mood set sort of thing, but you're not going to be able to accomplish that if you're not actually enjoying yourself to a certain extent. So please keep that in mind. I'm just going to go into some more technical aspects regarding the performance and or personality of being an idol. Now, what I'm going to be talking about can apply to a variety of different idol things. So if you are a Love Live cosplayer, such as us at Mahou Dreamers, or maybe you do Bang Dream cosplay, Utano Prinsama idol cosplay, it really is more of a universal idea that you can incorporate into this. So first and foremost, as an idol group or singular idol, you're probably going to be dancing, because that is what idols do. We do a lot of dancing. Now, I'm not going to go into the physical or technical aspects of that, because obviously Anita has covered that. We are strictly talking about performance. So when you are dancing, you want to put your best foot forward, both in a physical and a literal term. You want to have that practice in. Be very good at what you do. I understand dancing might not be a talent everyone naturally comes by, but practice does make perfect. If you put in the time, you will see the results, and your audience will too. This can be having your stuff memorized so you're less likely to make a mistake when you're performing for someone, or just having those little intricate details that you have your touch across the board and just kind of make a nice clean performance. Now, that being said, when you're dancing, other things that are important to keep in mind are things such as keeping your energy up. It might not seem like it's that big a deal, but your audience can probably notice if you're getting tired partway through or you're not as enthusiastic about your dancing. There's a big difference from going like this to like this, you know. It's going to make a noticeable difference. So try and keep your energy upbeat, have fun, keep your audience engaged, get them going. We are all jumping, having fun. Also, exaggerating your movements. That can be a big thing for idol. It may feel a little bit strange, but you know, if you're doing wide gestures, it's not going to be that odd. That's a very performance aspect of it. Now, other things that you might want to consider while you're dancing, apart from keeping that upbeat energy, things like smiling, making facial expressions. If you're very focused and kind of have a stern expression, your audience might notice and might not be as enthused about it as you might be. Other things to consider would be customization of your dancing. It's all well and good to be by the book and know everything as per it should be, each step clean and clinical, but it's another thing to bring your idol or character's personality into it. So for example, I cosplay Umi, Hanamaru, and Ayumu. So if I'm doing Umi, I will sometimes, while we're dancing, if it's a portion where you get to pose, I will throw in one of Umi's signature poses. So this can be things like she often throws up like a peace sign, or like the holding of hands in front of her chest, you know, those kind of more reserved motions, I suppose, because that's her as a character. So when you're doing this, keep in mind, don't go too all out. People still want to be able to recognize the dance for what it is, but don't forget to put that little bit of flair into your dance and really think about, if my character was doing this, how would they be doing it? Now, if you're having trouble getting into that character mindset, whether it be with your dancing or even with interacting with your fans, if they come up and go like, oh my goodness, Umi, or Nozumi, can we talk about this? You might want to put on a bit of that personality, kind of have that tone that your character might have. I think the best way to do this probably is research. It's important to know the character you are being. This can be things like, for Love Live, we're going to use this as an example, obviously. Know your character. Watch the anime if you can, maybe play the games, or even go on the wikis. It's all handy. With Love Live, we also have the school idol cards, which I'm sure some people probably have seen online. This can be very important for things like posing. As I said before, you can kind of get an idea of what sort of things your character would do, how they would act, how their bodies would move, and then you can kind of take that into yourself and incorporate it. You are, of course, yourself. You are not that idol, so keep in mind your comfort boundaries while you're doing this. I'm not saying to go anywhere out of what you as a person feel okay doing, but it can raise your performance to that next level if you're keeping in mind your character while you're doing everything. Now, this characterization can extend beyond dancing, depending on what you are doing as an idol group. If you're just performance-wise, no social media, no interacting with fans, that sort of thing, then obviously you want to focus on bringing that personalization and that extra oomph to your performance of the upbeat energy and the smiling and the general enjoyment and crowd engagement. That is going to be your priority. But if you're a group or a singular person like we at Mahou Dreamers are, we try to extend our idol aspects outside of just our performances. So we have our active social media, Facebook, Instagram. We also tend to talk with our fans when we do live performances and run a couple things throughout the year if we can, like events and whatnot at conventions. So while we're doing this, we generally like to keep in mind that idol persona. So if we're posting on social media, we'll be posting upbeat, happy quotes along with all of our photos. Nothing too out of character, generally speaking. You want to have energy and also positivity. Positivity tends to be a very big thing that comes with being an idol. It's a matter of uplifting your audience and uplifting yourself. A lot of the time, idol animes are very focused on friendship, togetherness, hard work, that sort of themes. And those are very good themes to bring into your idol work. They're also very good themes for overall life, to have those good energies coming in, essentially. Now, other things to consider in terms of performances to increase it could be things such as adding a skit to your performance. So instead of just dancing, maybe you are performing little intermittent play, essentially, or scenes in between dances or at the start to kind of give that feel of those character interactions. For example, when we do performances and we are doing Sweet Sweet Holiday, sometimes we will have the characters come on stage and they will have a little talk about sweets and treats and then go, ooh, sweet, sweet holiday, and then lead into the dance. So that's a good idea to sort of keep your fan base or crowd with the flow. Like, instead of just having them see you dance, they get to see that other aspect of you. They get to see a little performance that's on top of your performance. This can also be things like welcoming your crowd. You know, we always come on and we go, hello everyone, we're Mahou Dreamers, and we hope you enjoyed today's performance. And sometimes when we end, we'll do the same thing, thank everyone for coming. Maybe we'll throw out our social media tags if anyone's looking to connect with us. And obviously we stick around for a little bit if anyone wants to talk to us or get any photos or anything like that. Being personable is a big part of being an idol. You might not be a people person per se, but it is handy if you are able to talk to others. I, for one, am an introvert and quite shy and not very good at talking to others, but I put that little extra effort in usually when we are interacting with other Love Live fans, just to sort of keep it as a positive experience for them. Now, just to get a little bit of an idea of the basic concepts I've been talking about and how they can come into play, I'm gonna essentially do a without versus with of these aspects. So, for example, if it was without and I was doing, let's say, I'm going to use one for us as an example because that is a performance we've done recently. You know, maybe if I was practicing at home and not feeling it because I was tired today, I'd be, okay, you know, turn, hand, cool. But if it was more of that personalized extra energy for my dancing, really getting into that performance mode, you know, I'm going to be doing wide gestures and big smiles and, you know, kind of having that little bounce in my step, smiling at the audience, making sure they know I see them, that sort of thing, keeping eye contact, a big importance. And obviously, you know, I've been talking pretty monotone for the most part, I suppose, throughout this, a bit more of a serious tone because I'm instructing, I suppose. Whereas if it was maybe when I was trying to interact more as an idol with someone, I'd be more like, hi, thank you so much for coming, we're Mahou Dreamers, check us out online,
I hope you enjoyed today's idol guide. You know, a lot more positivity, I guess more of that sugary, sweet aspect of we're so happy to see you. And we are happy to see you. That is a big thing. You are, as an idol, it is such joy to see fans having a good time and really just having that moment. That moment where we can all say, you know what? I really like Love Live. Do you like Love Live? I like Love Live. And then just dancing. And people being so excited because they get to see those characters dancing. And it's a magical experience. Really, as much as I'm talking about the technical aspects and putting in that little bit of extra work, it really pays off. It's a fun thing to do, and it's enjoyable for yourself. It can be enjoyable for anyone you do it with, whether it be your other idol group members, if you have them, or someone you're performing for. So get out there and be your best idol. As goofy as that sounds, I hope that this was helpful for you all.
Hi everybody. So on behalf of Mahou Dreamers, I just want to say thank you so much for coming out today and watching our virtual idol guide panel at Pretty Heroes. We hope that the information that Mahou shared to you today was informative and helpful, whether you are just cosplaying, just starting to get into idols, or you are looking to join or start your own idol cosplay group. So thank you again for coming to support us today. Also, if you're looking to support Mahou Dreamers, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Mahou Dreamers. Mahou Dreamers also has a YouTube page, a TikTok, and an Etsy page. Our Etsy page actually right now has some great cosplay masks that you can wear out in public that are Muse related. They have the exact same colors of each Muse character and their name on it. So if that's something you're interested, definitely come out and check that out and see if you want to support Mahou Dreamers like that. Either way, we'd love to see you again. Thank you so much for having us. Bye!
More 気持ちを